welcome back to Let's Play 1000 Week Reich as Germany. Let's continue on from where we last left off. So all of our eastern territory is now just getting absolutely destroyed. Himmler has launched a coup. Did I choose Himmler in here? Yeah, because I did favorite Himmler in this option. So we're missing 19. Do I still have any factories I can even trade with? Still, the answer is no. But those like that the Red Army is winning pretty much on every front for right now. The end of Terracell, going to get another 10% stability. Of course, political power is still absolutely in the garbage, and I have no idea how we'll ever bring that back. The Coronation of Elizabeth II. Today we witness history, the coronation ceremony of Queen Elizabeth II, by the grace of God of Great Britain, Ireland, and the British dominions beyond the seas, Queen, defender of the faith. The young woman never expected to be queen. Elizabeth takes to the throne during troubled times and political changes in Britain and many threats from the outside. For now, however, the British people have been inspired and for once are united. Well, I mean, like right now, you know, am I still even in a faction? Okay, I'm still in a faction. We got Slovakia, so I think things there are doing pretty well. You're actually not in a faction, but you are... So you're not in a faction, but you're my puppet state. I don't even know how that works. So the Volga-Mach Red Army has capitulated. No guy has capitulated. But the Free Cossack Red Army is looking pretty strong. Because you're not at war with the South. You're only at war really with these guys. Disarming the Weimar. Because you're at war with these guys. Well, the Weimar is the main army of the German Reich. It is Hitler's original plan to replace the main fighting force with the Waffen-SS. With the hostility between the SS and the Weimar, this might be a perfect excuse for us to disarm and dismantle unloyal elements of the Weimar once and for all. We should make sure that they learn their place under the SS and that the regular army has no place in politics. So, 1585, the Weimar has been crippled. Apparently, the 15% chance did succeed. The German Civil War has been avoided. We expected a fight, but it turns out the mighty German army might be a myth after all. A few short shots and minimal losses on our side. The Waffen-SS successfully captured Weimar plotters and officials. The SS have shown the might of the Weimar, what their true role is, and with no effective leadership, the Weimar has been wiped off the face of German power struggle in one fell swoop. So we did lose a handful of leaders. And we have avoided the Civil War. Get all of you guys in here. Why not give you unyielding defender? Sure, why not? But I still think we probably need to, like, send troops here, like, as fast as possible. Can't get the stealth fighters. They're a little bit too advanced for now. I do have naval invasion tech. I mean, it's actually not even listed here, so I'm assuming the answer is yes on that one. You know, it's almost 1954. We can go for the technologies here. And Syria has capitulated, but that really should not be a surprise. So the anarchists have lost in the north. The Third Spanish Republic, I should have actually read that option. I did not read it, and I should have. And I apologize for that. But there is now a Spanish Republic there. You guys will then go for the NSDAP rebranding. You know, because that's what we need right now. It's a new brand. Our current brand is not good enough. I'm actually surprised that the Red Army here is not doing as well. I mean, you guys are in a big faction, so maybe that makes things a little bit easier for you. We don't know what the Soviets are planning right now. Ukraine has capitulated. The Red Army is doing pretty well. I mean, I have no idea what the hell is happening here. The Germans crushed in Ukraine. During the German Bolshevik War, when Germans marched into Ukraine, the memory of the Holodomor stuck with the local Ukrainians. The Ukrainians shuddered when the Germans marched into Ukraine, but many regretted their decision after witnessing what the Germans were truly capable of. Support shifted when the Reichsarmy Ukraine was founded, and the natives grew resentment towards their new overlords after a period of pure suffering with mass starvation caused by the German grain deal. At last, the Germans have been defeated. Ukraine is now free from Saxon terror. However, this only is a brief pause in upcoming chaos and political instability. At this pace, Ukraine's instability has no end in sight, or perpetual conflicts becoming the new norm. We still have Crimea, though. And if we have Crimea, everything is going okay. The Moscow Red Army has taken a state, so they've taken the guys up towards the north. And it looks like that it looks like the socialists are winning in the south. I still think they're probably going to win in the north as well. I'm just a little worried, of course, a little worried about what the USSR is planning on doing. You guys have taken even more territories. You're really only fighting one person at this point. And the Don Cossack Legion, I mean, you're not fighting anybody. Azerbaijan is now kind of just doing their own thing. They might even try to invade Georgia or Armenia. We'll kind of see, though, in the future. You guys have taken some territory. And now, of course, we have this whole front that we do need to be worried about. So you guys delete this plan. Well, 4 of you are going to stay here. The rest of you need to draw a front line. I'm going to draw a fallback line for now because this is 2 different tags. Yes, we'll get our troops prepared to defend Crimea if we have to. And I'm sure we're going to have to at some point. But at least, you know, Ostland has not decided to rebel against us. At least not quite yet. Well, we'll see. We got 3 technology slots open. We can now go for more chemical weapons. Artillery attack was 15%. Is pretty good. And you know, protective stance, I'm sure that's going to matter in the future. After that, we want to... Do you have any artillery upgrades? You are artillery. 1970. We can actually go for you. 66 days is not so bad on that. And of course, Ukraine has now started a civil war themselves. So you're fighting all these guys. Your territory is like so split up though, so I'm not too sure how exactly this is going to work out well for you. Catalan independence. With chaos sweeping across Spain since the ascension of the Marxist Liberation Front, the recently established Generalitat of Catalonia has decided to lead the republic, proclaiming their independence as a Catalan republic. The series of actions was spearheaded by Catalan President Josep Illa, former leader of the Catalan government in exile. After his return to Spain during the Madrid student riot, the rise of the Marxist Liberation Front was hated by many of Illa's cabinet, treating it as a possible threat to Catalan autonomy. Thus, with the support of local independence movement, the Catalan nationalists, Irla has issued the Catalan Emergency Independence Act to the Catalan Parliament. Wait, so are you... Oh, so you guys are communist. Okay. You're at war with Catalonia, but I feel like Catalonia is not going to win their war if I had to take a guess. Yeah, because if you're socialist, all of you are socialist, and I think... You're not you're social democratic, so you're not quite the same. I will send you to this front. Can't do you, we can't get this one going, so I guess we'll go for the great leader. Gain 5% stability. We're still at -7 under political power, which is not great. Who do you want to win over here? Probably the National Republic of Ukraine, or like the West Ukrainians. I'm really not too sure who would be the best option. Probably like neither, honestly. Because I'm sure we'd have to fight against both at some point. I don't know if we're really going to be able to actually return to Brazilian stability. Because we need to probably take back all this territory at some point in the future. The recent German ambassador crisis that hit Brazil has ended in good news. The Volga cabinet, military in Brazil as a whole. The crisis started several weeks ago with the storming of German embassy by Brazilian mob, endangering Karl Ritter, the German ambassador to Brazil. The resulting anti-German riots in Rio de Janeiro and other southern Brazilian cities eventually ended, but Ritter had departed from Brazil, an embittered man. Temporarily closing German embassy in Rio and seriously souring relations with Germany, the Brazilian army, which had been known for intervening in national politics, a crisis, later promised Vargas that it would keep itself out of the crisis, returning stability to Brazil and guaranteeing a few more years of the fragile Brazilian democracy. We have no idea what the Americans or the Toronto Accord as a whole are planning. Because if they're planning on a liberal victory in Canada, following the long and tiresome election campaign against the fierce opposition from the Conservatives and the CCF, the Liberal Party of Canada has secured yet another majority government. As part of the re-election platform, the new government has promised further reform in social security systems and the introduction of hospital insurance to improve the life of Canada's poor. Because I think, yeah, the Reds are going to win here. I think the Reds are still going to win here as well, now that they've kind of unified their front. And I still think they're going to win in the north. So I think all this area is eventually going to put part of the USSR. And another major war against them is going to need to take place. And I don't know when that's going to be. So you got deck commands, you become a field marshal. I really don't think we need to do that at all. Does not have national spirits. Now that Himmler is not currently leader. So maybe Himmler is going to die at some point. So the great power struggle right now is a negative 20% stability. What removes that? Probably something all the way down here. Germany's future. I mean, I'm sure it's down here somewhere. I don't think we need Himmler to, apparently the West Ukrainians have also declared war on you, which basically guarantees that I think the Reds are going to win. Because National Ukraine cannot fight a two-front war. And I don't think the West National Government will be able to stop the Red Army. And even down, like, even here with Moscow, I still think they're doing pretty okay. Like, if we look here, I mean, they're at 50%, so maybe actually the Moscow Red Army is going to falter. But with Ukraine, Soviets, the Don Cossack League is definitely going to fall apart soon. So it's really just a, yeah, because I don't even think, yeah, you don't even have a unique focus tree, so I'm pretty sure you're going to annex at some point. Like, do you have a focus tree? No. So probably none of these guys are really expected to last too long. This is Moscow Red Army. You know, they actually probably are going to lose in Moscow. Which is nice for us. Because at least if the Soviets end up fighting the Free Russian movement, that at least benefits us because they're going to be bickering amongst themselves. So, believe in Heydrich or jealousy binds. The count of you. We gain stability. The Great Leader is benevolent when he needs to be despite some past disagreements. There is no immediate need to neutralize Heydrich at present. But you know what? What if I were to just shoot him? He's a little bit too ambitious for his own good. Let's select a new technology. Let's go for you, because I don't know what you actually are. So getting some more unique stuff might be nice for our army. I mean, you are... I mean, you're the anti-German coalition. Even though you are National Socialist, you do not actually support Germany. Which is a shame. I'm sure these guys might all become, like, one state in the future. It really depends. Like, what's your thing? State shall grow. I mean, you do get some annexations down here, so... It really depends on what the USSR really has planned. We probably actually want to move troops up towards Ostland as well. Instead of being down here, like, Hungary... I'm not too worried about you going to war with us. I'm much more worried about what's happening over here in Russia now, so we'll send you guys towards the north. Because Hungary... I mean, you do like us, plus 20 opinion. You are paternal autocrat. You don't have a focus tree yourself. But you know what? I won't hold that against you. Because you're still in our puppet state as well. Or in our faction, which is nice. Apparently, the Italians just had no interest in actually fighting against Albania. Which I'm surprised by, because they could easily kill them off if they had to. You dream of greater Croatia, Italian influence. What do you guys have? Death to Romania! You really don't like Romania, huh? Death to Hungary. Why do you hate each other so much? I don't really know why you would be so upset with each other. How many troops do you guys have? Because you are in our faction, you have 8 divisions, which really is not a ton. Apparently you got some nice tourism industry, though, so that's good for you. It's good to know people are still touring Crimea during a massive civil war in all of Eastern Europe. Yeah, the Moscow Red Army, they have some guys, I guess maybe just like rose up through events, I'm not too sure. But I don't believe they're going to be able to win their war. And I still think the Southwest Red Army Command probably is going to succeed. I don't know how or when. We also have another infantry, throw them into this front. And again, we want reinforcement at top priority. More so than just training more and more units. And of course, you guys will prepare a war into Russia, which I'm sure we're going to need to do soon. And even declare war on Cheetah, who is communist. Because I think you're all communist, right? Yeah, for the most part, Mongolia is. So I guess if Russia starts moving their way this way, maybe you and you would form a faction and fight the Soviets. Which wouldn't be so bad. You know, the Russians want to try to just kill each other. That does benefit me the most. Yeah, so you are at 35%. 35% The Red Army actually has made a bit of a comeback, which is a little bit scary for us. We'll then go to supervise all Germans, unlocks Himmler's projects, which scares the hell out of me, but I guess we'll see what those are. And get you guys ready to go into this territory as well. And do I need to be on the border with Romania? The answer is also probably not, so let's throw you on the border with Ukraine for now. Because, you know, they are much more of a direct threat. At least these guys, you know. The paternal autocrat that used to be in the Axis. We have cooperation, I think. All those are pretty nice. After that, let's go for maybe some air doctrine stuff. 100 days is not too bad. And Reinhard Heydrich assassinated. News comes from Gotland that Reinhard Heydrich has been assassinated by unknown salient in his private estate. The man who had many assumed to be the likely successor of Reichsfuhrer SS was reported by German authorities to have been assaulted and killed after a private dinner party. Details are sparse, but it's generally assumed that after a lengthy dinner party, an unknown salient entered the estate and surprised him in his chamber. The crime went undetected until the following morning. The salient have escaped soundlessly into the night. Rumors already spreading about the nature of the crime, for how could one infiltrate a stronghold of one of the most powerful men in the Reich? Some are suspecting Himmler might have been involved. No, it's fine. No, it's all good. I had nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it at all. How much you have? 4 to 9. You have 10 to 39. Yeah, so the West Ukraine stands no chance. Once the Republic of Ukraine is dead, because they have 5 to 17 divisions themselves. Like, where's your capital? Pavla? I'm sure any of these cities falling would probably spell out a death for you. I just wish I could intervene directly. I want to send troops into this territory. I want this invasion to go ahead. Because having the Reds be right on our actual borders, not a great thing for us. Of course, we still got the Soviets. Still got the Soviets. Are you, you know, you're just a paternal autocrat. Cheetah is being invaded. And I don't know how long they have to last. War propaganda. Is there anything we can actually do? We construct a chemical factory. Effects when removed. Chem factory. Okay, if we have... I mean, I was going to say if we have political power, we could do that. But right now, we really don't. The Mao Gone paper. Shocking news has been revealed in the United States. Leaked by 2 Chinese officials working on American soil. Documents regarding Chinese espionage in America have been released, indicating that the Chinese government is involved in corruption, embezzlement, and illicit surveillance and technological theft against the American population. The American population is outraged, and the American government has officially launched an investigation into the contents of these documents. The Chinese diplomatic service has made an official response, denying any involvement in the behaviors listed in the documents. So the Republic of China and the United States now do not like each other very much. Unsurprisingly, I don't like them either. Probably like factional rivalry, hostile, fair enough. And of course, the National Republic has been killed. The Red Army, I think at this point, is just going to completely sweep across the West Ukrainian army here as well, which might lead to you getting annexed directly into the USSR. I'm not too sure. And you are now the Caucasus Socialist Federation Soviet Republic. You're broken after the war. The Caucasus Plan. Are you going to, from Stalingrad to Baku? The Union is here. Neighbor. Okay, I think if you're the Chinese-American Cold War. As the crisis between China and the United States stabilized for better or worse, a new order is being dawned in the Pacific. Relationship between America and China have been greatly damaged. As for now, American and Chinese troops are formally barred from cross-state training exercises, and Americans have been symbolically barred from Chinese airspace. While establishing the two are not one of open hostilities, these actions symbolize a new diplomatic rift between the two countries, and some geopolitical efforts referring this to a situation as a Cold War. So I'm assuming, if you border the Soviet Union, then you can just get annexed into their territory. Probably the same is with you. Maybe after you win. I'm not too sure. But they're going to win. There's no doubt in my mind about that. And after that, let's go for... You gain Central Registry, which is political power gain. Division organization goes down. Factory output, you know what? A nation of fear. Fear is our strongest weapon. Heinrich Himmler is a man that holds many great ambitions that some are described as unadulterated insanity. But Germany has learned to ignore these naysayers and gratefully accept Himmler's benevolent goals. Regardless, Heinrich Himmler is now the most powerful individual in the world, and with ultimate power, it meant all of Germany's state resources can now be diverted to any pet project that he desires, from fulfilling his fanatical belief to ushering Germany to a new page of autocratic terror. So you can move this to electrics. Are any of you 24-hour surveillance departments? The second, Tibetan. Why Tibet? We need to do a bunch of other stuff first. So we'll see. Once we have, we've not completed Nation of Fear quite yet. Britain stands victorious in Malay. As the last of the Malayan communist cells surrenders to the colonial security forces, the British government has officially declared an end to the Malayan emergency. The guerrilla war, which raged on the Malayan colony for a better part of the 50s, saw many casualties on both sides. British reconstruction efforts are already underway, and the government general of the colony has made it clear that British rule on the Straits in Malacca is here to stay. We do have one more unit. We'll send them over to this border. So we'll see kind of what the hell all of these little events are going to lead to. Your anti-air. Engine upgrades. Is there anything here we can get? You know what, let's go for nuclear reactors just so we can build a handful of them. We can get some nuclear weapons ourselves. Because right now, we have a dangerous lack of nukes, I would say. But I would also say that this is going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So thanks everybody for watching. My name is Antoine. If you enjoyed, remember thumbs up. Not enjoy, click thumbs down. If you want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.